Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome back to my workshop. Today we're going to finish up the Athearn Blue Box Caboose that we've been repainting. We're going to start with decaling. So I've already got the herald in place. You can see it on the side of the Caboose there. Now I'm going to do the reporting marks. So I'm just let it soak, the decals soak in distilled water for 10 seconds, and I set them on a paper towel to release from the backing paper. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I take some decal setting solution. Today I'm using Walther's Salvaset. This isn't sponsored. This just happens to be what I had on hand. This is a stronger setting solution than the microscale solutions, Microset and Microsol. But it's great for older decals and in custom decals, which can be a little bit thicker. So this works well, but it does really soften the decals, so you have to be gentle with them once they've gotten into that solution. So once they start separating, I can get it in place and just slide the decal off and just use my finger to maneuver it into place. If it gets a little stuck, don't force it. Add water to let the decal float up and move into position that way. So with the reporting marks in place, we're going to turn to the number. And in this case, it's going to be number 755. Since I did not have a decal that had the sequence 755 or even 75 or 55, all three digits will be added individually. So again, soak them for 10 seconds in the distilled water. With small decals like this, I tend to set them directly on the model instead of on a paper towel. The excess water that's on there will get onto the model, but it'll also help the decal float into position. And then again, put down the setting solution. And with smaller decals, you want to use a toothpick to maneuver them. They're just too big for fingers. At least that's what I've found. So once we get that loose, we can slide it into position and get the backing paper out of the way. Then we'll repeat the process with the other two digits. I'm starting with the center digit. I like to do that because it makes it easy to align the decal in the center of the area I want to put it. And then I can get the two on either side. Once those are in position and all three are lined up, I'll take the paper towel and just tap along the bottom edge of the decal to soak up excess fluid and help the decal settle down into place. And then we'll set it aside to dry. Give it about 10 minutes and then we can start working on the other side. When we're done, we'll check for air bubbles. If there are any, I'll just pop them with the tip of my hobby knife and add more setting solution. In this case, they decaled out pretty good. That Salvaset really helps eliminate those air bubbles. So with that done, we'll need to let this sit for 24 hours before we add a matte finish to it, gloss coat. But that pretty much settles the decaling. In the meantime, we can start working on the underframe. I already painted the trucks and installed metal wheel sets, and these are painted silver. The underframe parts I painted with my favorite grimy black, which is Vallejo Panzer Gray spray paint. And I also did that for the platforms on the end to help it show up nicely. Now we need to install couplers. I've already got the one in. You'll notice that it's screwed in, and instead of just the clip-on cover plate that Athearn provides, I'm going to show you how I did that. I used a tool set I found actually in a discount bin at my local hobby shop, and it's called the Bullseye Drill and Tap Set, or Drill and Tap Jig. It's made by A-Line, and it really turned out to be a convenient tool to use. So this is the drilling jig. You can see it's got a small hole in it that holds a number 50 bit, which I have installed in my drill, and that just fits in. You'll also see on the end it's kind of got a indented bottom. So the tap set the jig sits over the post in the Athearn coupler box, and the the lip created kind of sits on the edge of the coupler box, while the smaller section sits in the box. Now you can insert the drill, and with the tap held in place, the jig held in place, you can drill that hole in, and you'll be perfectly centered on the pin in the middle of that coupler box. Now the Athearn coupler box covers, the clip-on covers, actually already have a hole for that pin to sit in. So once we have that hole drilled, we can back the drill out, and then we're going to swap the drill bit for a 256 tap, which is actually included in the kit. The drill bit is not. And then we'll switch to the other jig, which is the tapping jig. It has a larger hole in the center, but works the same way. The bottom sits over the pin and on the edge of the coupler box. Put the tap in and just slowly tap the hole for the 256 threads. Drill it in. Every once in a while you want to back it out a quarter turn just to clear the threads. And then once you're through, you just screw it, reverse the drill, and drill out. Now I'm using a hand cranked drill. I would not use a power drill for this, and certainly not for tapping. It just moves too quickly. Use a pin vise, or in this case this is a hand cranked drill. That works well as well, I found. And then clean off your tap before putting it away. Once it's done, you install the coupler as normal, but we're going to add a small 256 screw to it. So we put the coupler in, we put the Athearn coupler clip over it, make sure everything works properly. But by adding the screw, we don't have to worry about the clip falling off. The screw will hold it in place. If you've worked with Athearn Blue Box equipment, you know that those clips over time the ears on the coupler box can wear off and those clips can fall off on you. So this prevents that. The kit came with 6 256 by, I think they're 3/32 or 3/32 inch screws, but you could use 1/8 inch screws. Just something that fits. On a Caboose, you got to be careful because you don't have a lot of clearance. On a box car, it really won't matter if the screw is a little longer and sticks up into the body of the car. Nobody's going to see it. Once that's done, we can put the two pieces of the underframe together, screw the weight back on, and install the trucks. The joy of having a box full of small parts is you sometimes got to dig through it to find what you need, even when they're all from the same kit. But we've still got ladders and handrails in there and the roof walk, so we'll be getting through all of that before we're done today. So with the weights installed, I painted the truck silver. I did a little bit of rust color on the springs. So we will screw those in, and then we will check to make sure the couplers are at the right height, and if we need to add any red washers, which, well, looking at this, we do. We're a little bit high. A little bit low on there, I should say. So it's going to need a couple of red washers, so we'll just pull the trucks off, add the Katy red washers to it, and that'll bring us up to speed on both sides. I didn't shoot video of me changing the trucks and couplers. I figured you've seen me screw coupler trucks on and off. The red washers just slip over the kingpins. So in this case, I needed 2 of them to get to the correct height. I also glued some weight on because when I weighed the car it was about an ounce light. So I used two 1.5 ounce nuts that I glued to the weight over the trucks to hold it in place. I've also added a clear matte finish to the Caboose body, so now we can install the smoke jack and the roof walk, the running boards. So the roof walk just snaps into the holes in the roof. If you're using a aftermarket, like an etched metal roof walk, you would want to fill those holes with like styrene rod, and I would have done that before painting. In this case, the Athearn roof running boards aren't bad, especially if you weather them properly. So we'll get the smoke jack out and install that. And then add a dot of solvent cement at each of the points where everything connects. Next step is going to be to install window glazing. I've already cut the pieces to size, so we're just adding a little bit of canopy glue around the edge of the windows. We're going to start with the bay window and then work our way around the car, getting all of the windows as well as on the sides as well as on the ends, because it just doesn't look right if there isn't glass in the windows. The nice thing about the canopy glue is it dries clear, so if you get a little seeps out, you're not going to notice it when it's finished. So with the car body finished, we can install it on the underframe. And it just snaps in. Sometimes you need to just give it a little bit of a push. There it goes. And then do the same thing on the other side. I gave the end rails and ladders a coat of blue paint, so when we installed those on the ends, unfortunately I didn't have my camera running. I thought it was, so I don't have video of me installing them, but they just sit in the holes provided in the model. Here I'm adding an India ink wash to the running boards and along the roof to help highlight some of the details. I'm also going to run it down the sides. Again, it adds a little bit of a dirt and ties everything together. Also kind of fades the coloring. And then I dry brushed some light gray paint over it, and here's our finished model. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you found anything useful in here, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see what's new. There's a new video every Thursday and a short that may or may not be related to Thursday's video on Mondays. Thank you for watching and have a great day.